Welcome to Tier 2 Help Desk training video. Today we're going to touch on Office 365 on how it's set up kind of from the back end. We're going to explain how that works when it comes to emails as well. We're also going to talk about other Tier 2 Help Desk issues and possible solutions. This is going to be a great video, so let's just get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Irvin, also known as Kobuman. Welcome to Help Desk Tier 2 training. In this series, we kind of expand and talk about in detail, meaning we talk about more in the sense when it comes to troubleshooting every ticket that we're working on. So it's not just here is a solution for this. We're going to talk about it and then provide multiple solutions, sometimes even talk about more difficult scenarios, basically more advanced. This is why it's tier 2. Before we start, please do me a favor in the comment below, just say hello, hi, or present, sort of like a roll call in the classroom. This gives me an idea how many people are interested in this type of content. So also, if you want to become a member, if you become a member of my channel, you get early access to these type of videos, just so you know. All right, thank you very much. The first ticket we have here is Office 365 School Implementation from Bob. Thank you, Bob, for submitting tickets. I also want to say thank you, Vincent, Javier, Kenneth, Tracy, and Precious Lawal for submitting tickets as well. We're going to get to all of those eventually. All right. Sign a ticket to myself. All right, so the first ticket is about Office 365 School Implementation from Bob. All right, Bob, let's see what you got here. So this kind of looks like advice, asking for advice type of ticket, which is not necessarily what you would get in tier 2 because it's more of implementation and setup of the systems. But that's okay, guys. We're going to learn something new here, and it's good to always kind of learn new things. It's going to make you that much better in your IT career. Hi, I'm working in a private high school for a year, and I took over IT department. Wow, that's impressive. In a year you took over IT department? That is impressive. My idea was to have all staff and students use Microsoft Office 365 and also have Microsoft Office take care of all our email communication. Okay, you can do that. You can do that. That's really easily done. Matter of fact, once you create Office 365 account and you create a Microsoft Office business account, this will basically, as part of initial setup, will allow you to use email communication right away. So that's pretty simple. I will show you an example of that as well. But let's just kind of keep reading here. Our school has a domain name registered at IONOS. So this thing, I'm assuming it's some kind of third-party service provider that probably provides domain names, email addresses, and whatever else. We can certainly look that up. And they also take care of our email communication. Well, here we go. So Bob here and his school are using this third-party service provider that allows them to use a domain name, for example, their schoolname.com, and email for them. All right, they use the email that has schoolnames.com at sign, right? So it's like bob at schoolsname.com. I tried implementing the email through Microsoft Office, but not sure how to go about this. Well, I kind of just talked about it in the sense that it should let you, literal initial setup should let you. It just has to be Microsoft Office 365 for business. So it's not going to be necessarily your login, but you would have to get an account for Microsoft Office 365 business that will allow you to get access to the admin center. In our Office admin site, I can see all our staff and students are active users. So it kind of sounds like you have some kind of access through the admin site, which I'm assuming is that you're talking about admin control panel. That's okay. We're going to look at this, and I'm assuming this provider has given you this type of access, and hopefully you have the ability to make some changes. Migrating to Office doesn't seem so easy to me. I tried it once, but went back for now to this other service provider. Lots of questions. How should I know all the passwords in order to migrate, all user mailboxes, and should I have all the stuff using Outlook? Okay, all right, I see what's going on here, and that's okay. And Bob says any help is appreciated. Sure thing, Bob. We're going to talk about it now. No offense, but it kind of seems like you're kind of out of your element here, and that's okay. It's okay to learn. Highly suggest that you watch my Office 365 videos, and I have them in series, and I have lots of those videos. If you just want to sit down for one long crash course, I have 2 crash courses for Office 365. I highly suggest you watch those. I'm going to put up a link to the first one. It's going to come up now. So that's the first one that kind of starts from the beginning, creating users and everything else. And at some point it does go to the Exchange, which is going to talk about your email and all of this other stuff. And now I'm going to make pop up the second crash course that I've created, which expands on that a lot more. Now, let's kind of see what this looks like so we can kind of go about helping you at least get an idea on how to go about this. Now, if this service provider is just a third-party service provider where they provide you with, domain name, email address, and maybe access to Office 365, then you are limited to what they can allow you to do when it comes to migration. This includes their email addresses, this includes their passwords, and this and that. However, I will give you an idea on how to go about this on your own if you want to get this going. So here I'm logging into Microsoft 365 Admin Center, and this is what Bob was talking about. He possibly has access to this with his Microsoft login, and I don't know if this is something he created on his own or if it's the current one that he's using that's provided by this third-party provider. And obviously they're using Outlook, so they are using some form of Office 365. So this is what he's talking about. When he goes to active users, he can see them in there. At the same time, when you see them in there, you can see that they have email addresses all to the right here, right? All these people have email addresses. This is created as soon as you log in to the account. Now let me open up a notepad to show you what happens here. The steps here when you create Office 365 account. And it has to be Office 365 for Business setup. Okay, first step is you basically use a domain name to create the environment. I'm just going to type in env for short. For example, schoolsname.com. So that's one of the first steps, one of the early first steps. It's been a while since I've created this environment from scratch, but it's one of those things that will ask you to set up, otherwise you won't be able to go any further, right? So it's going to ask you as a first step, when you go and create business Office 365, it says use a domain name to create the environment, for example, schoolsname.com. Now you should still be able to use domain name. In this case, this is the domain name, right? I'm going to just do one of these things here. Bear with me, I'm just literally, this is all out of my head right now. So, registered domain name, right? So use that, whatever the schoolsname.com is or whatever is that the registered domain name is, you can still use that. You should still be able to use it through this other third-party provider that you were talking about. So that's all that is. Any other provider of domain names can also allow you to register and use that domain name. So that's the first part. The second part is after you set up the account, emails are created automatically. So just like we see it here, all of these people that you add, all these add user, they all automatically get an email address. Again, this is all in my training series for Office 365. So that takes care of that, right? This other company that you're talking about, I'm going to say reach out to what was it? Ionos. to see if you can migrate mailboxes to the new Office 365 business. So they are going to basically let you know whether you're able to do it, and you're going to have to work with them. And they may not be too helpful or too happy that you're doing this. Just so you keep that in mind. Now, if you have, like, I don't know how big the school is, and I don't know if every person in school gets an email address, like every student, every teacher. I mean, I don't know. This could be, 1,000 people as far as I know. Typical school size, medium school size is, I don't want to, like 300 or 400 people. I mean, it depends where you live, I guess. But keep in mind that all of these people, in order to use Outlook, they're going to need to use a license. For example, if you look at Abigail here, and if you look at the licenses, she has Microsoft 365 8.3 for faculty license. So, you would basically, what I'm trying to say is that these licenses are not free, right? You get a trial to use it. You get a trial to use these licenses for a while, but so you're going to have to reach out and contact Microsoft to see if they have any other options when it comes to discounts for schools and this and that. They may have something. I know if you can provide a verification that you are indeed a school, they might let you use, a trial or indefinite. I don't know. You're going to have to reach out to them. I know you can definitely get a trial and play around with this type of stuff and learn it as much as you can. And for those reasons, I highly recommend that you watch my Office 365 crash courses and videos. So I'm going to leave it at that, because you are limited to what you can do, because simply you are using this third-party provider. So for those reasons, we're going to reply to this, to you, I should say. Hello, Bob. This is Irvin with PC support. I don't remember if I ever talked to Bob, so I'm introducing myself. To get you started with Office 365 administration, below are some basic first steps to help you get going. I highly suggest you watch my Office 365 training videos afterwards. I hope that helps. So I'm going to leave it at that, okay? And I'm going to close this ticket because it's not a trouble ticket. So I'm going to close it because it's more of like a knowledge-based type of ticket. Okay, so that was an interesting one. It's not something I usually go through when it comes to help desk type of videos, but it's good to learn. Now you guys know as well what kind of entails, and it's good to know as a help desk tier 2, of course. All right, ticket from Vincent. Thank you for submitting this ticket. Excel file will not delete. It says it's open for editing. Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Hello, Irvin. I received a ticket from a user saying they are unable to delete an Excel file. When trying to delete Excel file, Excel is telling them that the file is opened by someone else and it cannot be deleted. That's what usually is the case. I verified that the user was the owner and asked if the file has been shared with anyone else. The user is the owner and has yet to share the file. It's not about sharing the file, it's about opening the file. So if somebody has it open somewhere, that's what this error usually comes from. So it's not about sharing. Remote. So these are the steps. Vincent is really good at troubleshooting. These are the steps he's taking. Remote. He remoted into user's computer, successfully established the connection. Verified user's issue, successfully reproduced the issue. Vincent, by the way, is he's very good at noting everything what he's done. Use the task manager to close the Excel and other Microsoft programs. That's an excellent idea. You want to close everything that's within Microsoft, that's Microsoft related when it comes to programs, because sometimes there is some kind of integration issue where it kind of it waits for everything to be closed before it considers everything to be closed, or even that Excel. Now, Word and Excel, Outlook, they should be functioning separately from other parts of Office, but you never know. There might be some kind of a service running in the background that's connecting all these things together. You don't know. Reopen, by service, I mean when you open up a task manager, there are processes and services running in the background, like this here. Like, for example, here, anti-malware service executable. This is basically your virus, that is Windows built-in antivirus that's running in the background constantly. Just an example as a service. Head user sign out of Office 365, sign back in. Unsuccessful, file not able to be deleted. She restart the computer. So this is a good way to actually close all these services. This is why restarting a computer actually fixes a lot of issues. It's because it does the whole reset and closes all of these applications. User restart the computer and try to delete file. Unsuccessful, file not able to delete. So this confirms to me that this indeed is open somewhere else. Trying to delete the file from either desktop app or Office 365 web page resulted in the same outcome. Being unable to delete the file due to it being open for editing. Any suggestions for the next step should take? So the only thing they could be, and I have a feeling you already resolved this, so please let me know. The main reason for this happening is that, well, okay, let's do this here. The most likely reason is that the file is indeed open somewhere else. You don't necessarily, nope, necessarily, there it is. You don't necessarily need to share the files in order for them to be open by someone else. Sharing is usually done with cloud-based applications. For example, if you backdoor, and by that I mean you access somebody's computer over the network, if you backdoor into someone's computer, you can open their Excel files unless they are locked with a password. Same thing goes if, now this is what I've seen issued, this mostly I've seen this issue is when Excel files are stored on a server and everybody has access to it. Same thing goes if Excel file is being stored on a server, which I have a feeling this is what might be happening. Some people use their remote, I should say, their network drives. I'm going to type in i.e network drive. And if that is the case, you can possibly, let's see here. turn off sharing for that drive momentarily. Momentarily. Sorry. This would kick out anybody else who might be using it, even if open by accident. So you kind of have to, you kind of have to go and kind of think about all the things that could be possible. If it's not at local level, then chances are so if the issue is resolved at local level, you've done all of this stuff, which is great, right? You've done all of this stuff. You've kind of made sure that the issue is not at the local level. Then it has to be at some other level. So I would kind of concentrate to see if the file is open somewhere else, for example, or open or stored somewhere else where somebody else might have access to it and accidentally open that up. Now, the only way to actually kick them out is to basically, turn off the shared drive, the network drive, and because otherwise, how are you going to know? I mean, I guess if you open it up, and you should be able to see history of who's got it open. I suppose I should have mentioned that. I forgot about that. Okay, and lastly, let me just do this here. Lastly, you can check to see who modified the Excel file last. And I'm going to show you this here. Let me open up Excel. So if you click file here, you can see on the right here where it says to the right, related people, and it says author, and it says last modified by. So in case somebody else has it open and they're making changes to it, or maybe even made restriction to it, let's say it was accidentally shared, I don't know. You can see who may have made the change, and it says here, it would have the name of the person that right here, right? But if you want to make restrictions and see if this works, you can click, it says here protect workbook. While you have the file open, it says protect written. You can make it final. You can try this. Let readers know that the workbook is final and make it read only. Once you make it read only, it still may be open somewhere else, but you can try to see if it will kick people out. You can also restrict access here and then try to add people in here, kind of go through here and see if anything stands out. But chances are it may not work if it's still open and if it's still being hogged by somebody else, meaning that's still open, right? Now this is the main reason why it's not closing to begin with, because it's assuming that it's still open somewhere else. Okay, so I'm going to save. Yeah, I'm going to save it. I'm going to keep it open just to see what happened with that. So printer issue here. Thank you, Ken, for submitting this ticket. The network printer randomly becomes unavailable for my workstation, but other workstations can still use it. Do I have a virus? Most likely not a virus. P.S. Postscriptum. You're helping so many people. Keep up the good work. I love to see that. Man, thank you so much, Kenneth. I really appreciate that. I'm glad. I love to see that. I see people leaving comments like this, and that's the main motivator for me, because I see that people are benefiting from just me sharing my knowledge. That's all I'm doing. It says the network printer randomly becomes unavailable for my workstation, but other workstations can still use it. Do I have a virus? Usually viruses don't disable network connection, even if it's like a ransomware where it's super malicious, where it locks down your computer, you can't do anything. You still have network connection. So it most likely not a virus. So I'm going to say most likely not a virus. Assuming that everything is fine for the other ones, what I would look into is possibly a network connection issues or driver issues. Driver issues for the network adapter and or printer. Okay, and look for the printer, or I'm sorry, the printer as well, but we're going to look at the network adapter driver. Make sure that this is updated. Where's network adapter drivers? Here's one. Just right click it, and it'll give you an option to go in and update the driver. Make sure that that's updated. Look for the printer in here, or also under printer settings. Printer settings, make sure you're using the correct driver. So remove the printer and re-add it. So let me just add these steps here, then we're going to go further to see if we can see if we can find out some other issues. So one, update network adapter driver. Two, update printer driver. Make sure that you are using the same one as other workstations. Three, check what's it called, event viewer is what I meant to say. Check event viewer for network connection issues, and this is how you do it. We've got the event viewer, so go to Windows Logs, System, and then do a custom view, and then we're going to click errors. We're going to select critical as well, so you can leave it at system, just make sure it's critical and error setup. And I'm going to click OK, and we're going to see some errors that came up. Now look specifically for network errors in here. These are some critical errors. All of these is just some unrelated stuff, but you will see a bunch of this stuff. But what you want to look for, and this is the key here, wherever it says source, look for stuff that's related to the network connection. All right. So if some issues come up like this, it will give you an idea of what might be the issue at local level. I don't think there are any ones that I can find here. I'm just going to sort them by type. Kernel power. This is all these kernel power ones are from me just literally unplugging this computer. I only use it whenever I am creating these videos. And here is NTFS for there's some issues with the driver, right? Not the driver, but with the drive storage. Okay, so look for all of these, kind of scroll through and see if you can find any network issues that might be causing problems. Like for example, DNS issues, this and that. So this is what I would look into. Of course, I can't recreate this issue here for you. And that's what I would do. I think the network printer randomly becomes unavailable for my workstation, but other workstations can still use it. You know, I don't know if you're working from home, but it could be something that's related to the VPN as well. So I'm going to say for if using VPN, try switching to another server. I hope that helps. Yeah, I really can't think of anything else. Anybody else who's got some kind of other input, please let me know in the comments. It's definitely not a virus. I'm 99% sure that it's not a virus. All right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to continue. We have more tickets. We got 6 more tickets, I think, unassigned. We're going to continue. Please submit more tickets so we can have more videos. These videos happen because of you, not just because of me. So I really appreciate it. I see Javier submitted more tickets. Thank you, Javier. I see Tracy submitted tickets. And there's one from Precious Lawal. I don't know if this is a real ticket or not. It just says here, just learning how to use a ticketing system, which is fine. But yeah, more tickets, more videos. That's just how it goes, you know. I hope you have a wonderful day. And that's it. Take care. Bye-bye.